Hi, everybody. It's Dee Slater with Create with Dee. Welcome to my live at 5. I'm here on a Friday versus a Wednesday. I had a little work conflict a couple of days ago. And so through my social media and newsletter, I let people know that I was going to come on live here tonight. So I hope those of you that normally tune in can. And whether you're here live with me or you watch the replay, I hope you really enjoy my tips and tricks that I have for tonight's class. Well, tonight what we're going to do is I have found some new tips and tricks that for me worked so much better for the pop and twist fun folds. They can be a little tricky, but I have found some good tips and tricks that to hopefully take the mystery and take the maybe a little bit of the scariness away. Well, as you come on, I would love for you to say hi. And if you'd like this video at the end, if you haven't already, to subscribe or follow me on Facebook or YouTube, I would welcome you to do so. And if there's anything in here that you like along the way, please give me a thumbs up, a like, just to let me know that you like the content. Hi, Doreen. Thank you. You have a good 4th of July too. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera around and we'll get started on today's project. Miss Doreen, she won my, I had a little something on Facebook that said, like, I gave some clues about what we were going to make here tonight. And it's the pop and twist. Okay, so this fun fold has been around for a while. It was super popular a few years ago, and it's always fun to kind of revisit it every now and then. Hi, Marge. So the pop and twist card is that when you open up the card, it pops open and there's a twist element for it to open up. And there's a mechanism that has some unique folding that actually allows it to do that. So I don't think I've ever done a video on a pop and twist card, and tonight might be my first of doing it. And I hope that you feel like it's something that you can follow along with me and be successful with making it. So in the comments, if you want, let me know if you've ever made the pop and twist card. And then after the video or as we get through, I would love it if you'd let me know if you think you will give it a try. All right, so let's go ahead and we will make this card here together. I'm going to spend most of our time here tonight on the actual mechanism. That's kind of the bread and butter of what we can do. Then it's just a matter of decorating everything. All right. So I have found this YouTuber, her name, I think it's Mamie Makes It, and she had a tip and trick on how to make this. And then I had my own preference on some sizes. And so I've kind of combined the two in order to do this. Oh, Marge is never, okay, Marge, you'll have to let me know if you've tried it. All right, so what I'm going to show you tonight is how to put this together. It looks intimidating, but I think if you just follow this step by step, you can. Also, I will have some pictures on my Create with Dee blog. My intent is to get them up yet tonight. If not tonight, they'll definitely be up by Saturday, July 1st, 2023. So please check out my blog around that date, and then you can refer to the template if you'd like. All right, let's go ahead and let's do some scoring. Again, I'm going to concentrate on this here tonight. This is my class kit to go, and if it's something that you would like, you would get like with your minimum order of $40 from my online store. I'll have the information up there later on. You would get 2 kit packets to make the cards using the Bright and Beautiful paper. It won't be necessarily this exact paper like design, but within the pack, you'll get one of the bright ones to use on the front. Okay, there's all my housekeeping. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take everything out of here. And why don't I just kind of quickly talk about the measurements on all of the elements here for the card. For the card base, I'm using Berry Burst 4 1/4 by 11, scored and folded in half. The pop and twist mechanism get 2 pieces of cardstock, the same color, at least that's what I'm using. This is Azure Afternoon, and it's at 3.5 by 10. And then some layering pieces for the card, using 2 matting pieces of the Azure at 4 by 5.25, designer paper at 3 3/4 by 5, basic white at 3 3/4 by 5. That'll be for the outside and the inside of the card. And then for the pop-out panels, need 4 sets of, the backing is a 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. So 4 of those, and then 4 pieces of the designer paper. That's 2 by 3. I also had, when I got done cutting, I had this little strip, so I'm going to use it for the inside of the card. This is 1 by 3 3/4. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put off to the side some of the other things that we don't need, and let's get going on the main. I'm going to say the main feature here is how to do the pop and twist. All right, so this is what the Mamie made it, what she did, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. So, whoops, let me pull this down just a little bit. So again, the length of this is 10 inches, and for points of reference, we're going to score it halfway at 5. And then we're going to turn it along the 3.5 inch size and score it halfway again. So that would make it 1 3/4. And we'll get that scored. Whoops. I'm saying whoops because it's right on my belly and I don't have enough room to finish it. So that's, oh, and while I've got the scoring out, or the scoring tool, you could use your trimmer scoring blade. I'm going to put the other 3.5 by 10 inch on here along the 10 inch side, and I'm going to score it every 2.5 inches. So we're going to score it at 2, 5, and 7.5. Then I can put away my scoring. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll bring the template back out here so that you can kind of see what I'm doing. I just drew the red lines on here so that you can see a little better on what we're doing. All right, so what I'm going to do here first is I'm going to get my bone folder, and I'm going to burnish that's along the 3.5 inch side, just so that you can see it a little better. All right, so pick a side. It doesn't matter if you're, if you do the left side or the right side. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to do the right side. And what we're going to do, we're going to do a little twisting because it is a pop and twist. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this, fold it over so that the score lines match up. So I'm just holding it here in this upper right-hand quadrant, and I'm folding it over until the score lines meet. All right, and I'm going to show you that on the other one too. All right, and I'm going to, after I get those lined up, I'm going to give it a little burnish, and I'm going to hold this up and see where these score lines intersect. That's a nice diagonal that meets there, so I know I'm doing good. And then Mamie's trick, and I like that, I want to so give her credit. She said, flip it over and make sure that the other side is lined up. See how this is off center? We're going to be the boss of paper. So all we have to do is just it's just paper. It's all right. We're going to force it to where we want it to go. So I'm going to go ahead and line these up again and give it a nice burnish. All right. So now we've made this diagonally score line. Let me go ahead and do this too so you can see it. All right. So we made one of the diagonals. Now we need to do the other side. So I started with the top right. Now I'm going to do the same thing, but with the bottom right. So I'm going to bring that up and then go the other way. Whoops, let's see here. Sometimes I have to really think about this. It takes me just a second. So we did up that way. So now we do this. Well, we just need this to be going that way. There we go. Well, I'm doing opposite corners. Maybe think about like where I have this tear and tape. One goes here, and then the next time do that one. So if I take this one and fold it up. Nope, that's the same one. Darn it. Hang on, I have the whole tip figured out here. Okay, this has to go this. Okay, so now I'm taking this and going in the opposite direction. That wasn't very articulate, but I think you see where I'm going with it. All right, so it's just that once you have it going one way, you need it the other way. So wherever you see it's missing, bring that over, line it up again, score it a little bit all the way through. Whoops. Flip it over, see if you match up. I'm off here just a little bit, and I'm going to straighten it up again so that the other side score line lines up, and fold. Okay, so now when I open it up, I have this, I have the, left and right, up and down, and an X marks the spot. And the X should, all of the score lines should intersect. Now that I've got this, now the best thing that we could do is just burnish the heck out of it, meaning that you just take your bone folder and get those really crisp edges, because with fun folds, half of the trick is getting play in the cardstock. Okay, and so now that we have this, what I found, and this is my personal tip, I find that if I take my finger and see where this triangle piece is at, I'm going to work on the left-hand side first. I need to bring this side inward. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to flip that out, and that comes down like so. And then this side, we'll poke that in, bring it down and out. So our goal is to make a little circus tent, okay? And I'll go ahead and I'll get this going. Oops. And I get this lined up nicely too. And so this is the hardest part of it. If we can get to this part, it's great. All right, so that's our mechanism. So when it folds up, it looks like this. We have a triangle point and a circus tent here. I'm going to pull out the yellow ones that has the red line so that you can see that. Again, and this one's I've used this quite a bit, so it's nice and playful. All right, so again, we're going to score it half and half, just to recap. Take one end, bring it up. We're matching up the score lines. Make sure that matches, flip it over, make sure the other side matches up as well. Open it back up, and then do the other side, matching it up. Burnish it, open it up, and do the other side, so that all four, so that you have the X marks the spot. Okay, so what I would recommend is grab some scrap paper. Try this. Stop and pause this as you go to try to do it to get the mechanism. I'm going to just talk a little bit like other ones that I've done before. You had to take a ruler, make tick marks, get a straight edge, and score it just so. This way, you don't have to do any of that measuring. It's just lining up the north, south, east, west score lines that we made, and we're ready to go. We don't have to do any other measuring other than that. So I loved that. All right, so we've got this. Now let's go ahead, and that's the hard part. So if we can do this, we can do anything. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll put the card base together, and I'll show you how this all goes together. All right, so let me just go ahead, and I'm not going to do any stamping here tonight. I will talk about what I used on the products here, at the end. Again, I don't like to have our lives go too long with it. I like to try to keep it, about no longer than 35, 40 minutes. All right, so this is this awesome, I love this. I always call it the birthday paper, but it's bright and beautiful. So there's our matting there. And I'm going to take this little strip. This is going to be on the inside. This is one of those little scrap pieces that we can take advantage of and gusset up the inside. I'm going to put that right down here on the bottom. And then before I would glue that down, I'm going to glue it down with us, but I did some stamping on it. And you can see that the pop-up mechanism goes pretty high up. So you've got you know, at least halfway that you can do some extra stamping or decorating down there. I'm going to pass on that during our time here tonight because, again, I just want us to be able to be successful with our pop and twist card. Okay, so I'm not going to put anything on the front here because I'm going to tie some ribbon around it, but just pretend I have the ribbon on it, and then I've got that glued down, but I can put this in on the inside, and that's what I definitely want to do. You want to have anything that you put down on the inside in there first. And my other tip that I would say that really helped me, and I'll show you what I did wrong before. If you have a matting layer here, it kind of helps guide not to go too close to the fold line and the score line here on it. Hi, Joanne. I almost like having this matting layer just to help me with knowing where to stop. All right, so we've got that part in. We've got anything we want decorated on the inside of the card base. So now we have our pop and twist mechanism. And what we're going to do is we're going to put adhesive on both sides of this triangle piece. All right, so if you'd like to use your Stampin' Seal Plus, you can do that. I'm a liquid girl. Okay, so I've got that there. My tip for positioning is, I'm going to hold this up. Don't have your point of your triangle, like try to have it match almost to the edge of your matting layer. You want to stay away from the score line because there's so much thickness here. When you open it up, you need that extra room here to do it. So again, I kind of found that it's, if I have that matting layer of 4 by 5 1/4 on it, it helps guide me. So I'm just going to center it on the base here. And once I think it looks good, I'm going to close it. So I've got adhesive on the top part of that triangle. And I'm going to get my bone folder and get some good contact. And then when I open it up, that's okay that it does that because it's just kind of loose there. Now we're going to flip it over because our mechanism needs to be attached to both sides. And I should have, what I didn't do here, and I should have, is force this kind of, again, like, you know, you can kind of use your bone folder and have it, see how it's not quite even. I could have kind of tried to play with that just a little more to have the triangles line up. But I'm going to put some more adhesive on it because we want to put triangles on, or put glue on both sides of our pop and twist mechanism. Close it again. Give it a good burnish. I'm going to rub it on here really well. Okay, now I'll turn it back around, and when we have it go up, we've got our pop-out mechanism. And all I can say is that the more you play with it, the more that this comes up. All right, so that's it on how we put the inside together. Now it's time to put our panel on it. Let me just bring in the sample again. So we did the backing here, but now like we need to showcase like when we want the pop-up display and how to do that so that it folds right. Well, again, let's, you can always refer back to this diagram here. I'm going to put 2 strips of tear and tape on the upper right-hand side and 2 strips of tear and tape down on the lower side. I could have done that before I put it in here, but I just wanted to, for me, it's like I never know which direction I'm doing until I open it up because I might have my card flip-flopped around. So for me, even though you could do it ahead of time, I just kind of like doing it afterwards. And you can open this up. We've got it folded and scored, so it's going to have memory. It's going to go back. So I'm going to put 2 strips of tear and tape for this size of a pop-up here. And so that's on the upper right hand. And then you go, always think opposite corner. So I'm going to do on the lower left side 2 pieces of tear and tape. Oops, I got that just a little bit overshot. And I'll get my take your pick tool and get that tape started. Get that up. So how are we doing so far? Does everybody think this is something you know, that you might give it a try. I know, you're going to hold judgment until it's all said and done. I don't blame you, but I really want to hear back from you, whether you're on my Facebook group or here under the comments on YouTube. If you haven't done it before, you know, give it a try and see what you think on it. All right, so we've got the tear and tape. Now I'm going to kind of just, that kind of hung over a little bit. All right, so now we have our other 4 panels here, same size card. We're going to do a mountain valley fold or a fan fold, whatever you want to call it. And just like before, I'm going to get crisp edges. And you can even go both ways on it just to kind of, again, we're breaking down fiber on these fun folds for this particular one. All right, so we want to have it so that the peak or the mountain fold is up. All right, so because these are the same size of cardstock, this is another one of the versions that I tried that I'm like, I love the fact that it's the same size. And the reason why is I can just line up the sides now. I don't have to do special measurements, making sure I'm in the center, because it's the same size. And for me, that just made this an easier way of doing it. Right, so whoops, and it doesn't matter. You can do the left or right side. I'm just going to make sure I have the mountain fold in there. Okay, and we're just going to line up the edges. Okay, and again, the adhesive's just on the bottom. Then I open it up and we'll go ahead and line up the edges. Give it a press. That adhesive's just going to pick up here at the corner. And now we have this, and we've just made our pop and twist. Now, what I found is that, like, the more that you open and close this, the more the paper has memory of what it needs to do. But if it gets stuck, what you see me doing this, I'm poking on the side of the mechanism and collapsing it. And there it just went down. So that's how you close it. And so then when you open it, it pops up to reveal whatever we want on the panel. And then if you go to close it, and if it doesn't quite have the memory, and that one did okay, it did that. But if you go to give this, just work it a little bit so that the paper really has its memory on it. All right, let's go ahead and I'll kind of just talk through how I decorated the rest of it. But that right there is exactly how I did this. What do you think? I hope that you like it. What I would do first, though, and then I was just doing this to be, you know, not have it go on forever. Before I put the panels on it, I would take the time to put the paper on it first, the layering panels on it. But I can do this afterwards on it. Okay, so let me just kind of talk through some of the things that I did to decorate it. What I did on the front of it is before I adhered it to the front of the card, I took the Trio Ribbon Combo. This is the sheer ribbon combo pack, and I took 2 of the colors and I wrapped it around the card base or the card layer and just tied a knot and then put that down. And then I just love the beautiful balloon bundle. I think it's so fun. And so I made a couple of balloons, just had some baker's twine to tie at the base of it, the happy birthday from the set, and used a circle punch to punch it out. And then on those layering panels, I just kind of repeated the idea of it. I've got 2 of them that say happy birthday, 2 of the smaller balloons die cut out that say yay you, time for a celebration. So, you know, the front of it then just says happy birthday. I think it's time for a celebration, and it's nice and fun. All right. So again, I just am hoping that you give this a try. And like I said, I wanted to show you some things that worked for me or what things didn't work for me so that you can kind of see what I was doing. All right, so first what I did is I took 2 retiring colors of cardstock that I was okay to just play with and used it for my sample. You know, so I've got that, and that was my sample one. So I encourage you, like my tip number 1 would be to grab some cardstock that you're okay with. You know, if you mess up and need to grab something else that you can get some, you know, get some cardstock that you're okay to let go of. then the next thing would be to, you know, maybe make your own template. Do what I did here, do the scoring. Like that way you can put a ballpoint pen or something to do that so that you could remember and do that and make your own template and put it in your template file. That would be another tip on it. So you could make your own template and keep it with however you keep those type of things. I wanted to show, like, here's with that Fun Moon paper that we have. You can see here that it's not closing quite right. And that's because I put that mechanism right on the score line. So I had that tip way up too close to the top. And so, of course, now the bulk of it's not where it needs to be, which the bulk of it needs to be below that score line. So this is what can happen if you get something that's not like this. That means you've got it too close to your score line on here. I'll probably still use this card somewhere with it, but, you know, or I might not. It's not one that, you know, but again, it was like, that was the tip. I had it a little too close. So make sure that you use the tip that I gave with trying to keep it to the top of the matting layer on the inside of the card. All right, so that's that one. And then this really isn't a tip, but this is just such a fun pattern paper with the, I can't remember what it's called, but it's got like the moon and the starry skies and everything. And now I think I have to get that bundle so that I can keep going with my, my Pop and Twist card. All right, let me just see if there was anything else that I can answer any questions. Okay. Oh, I hope that you do try it, Janice. I would love that. And let me just go back and say bye. All right. Well, again, let me know if you give it a try. I can't wait to see if you think that these tips are helpful for you. I know they were for me. And I'm kind of now wanting to go through all of my paper and matching suites of products and do that. I do have just a little housekeeping for myself and for you guys if you want. I am doing a Christmas in July online class to go. If you're interested in doing that, please make sure to sign up for my newsletters. I've got the information here on both Facebook and YouTube in the comments or in the descriptions that if you want to, you know, craft with me a little more. I have this coming up. The deadline's really coming up quickly because I want to place the order for class next week as soon as the products go live. So please join me for that if you'd like. And today's the last day for the paper that's on sale at 15% for the designer paper. And I think that's everything I wanted to say. All right. Well, I hope that you guys all have a great holiday weekend if you're in the U.S. And that you have a great weekend with your family and friends. All right, everybody, take care and happy crafting. Bye-bye.